Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to your midweek yoga practice. Tonight, we will be doing a little homage to spring by doing a little bit of cleansing through some twists, just kind of getting that whole digestive tract moving and circulating and just detoxifying the body a little bit, as well as giving a little bit of an homage to the past full moon that we just had. That was a super moon, and it is in Libra. So we don't necessarily want to try to achieve balance, but we want to sort of look for what is the balance that we need in our bodies. So what do we need to do a little more of and maybe a little less of? So I think that also, for me, kind of ties back to cleansing. You know, sometimes we need to like really get in there and dig deep and just start to clear out and minimalize our life. And in other ways, we can then create space to bring things in. So that being said, I also wanted to make sure that we have one block as opposed to our normal two. And you can put that on the long side of your mat. And then we're also going to need a blanket rolled up, maybe to the height of about 4 or 5 inches. And that's going to come in at the end of the practice. So if you need to go and grab those, great. Otherwise, we're going to come into either easy pose, Sukhasana, or we can come up into thunderbolt pose, Vajrasana, and that's actually really a great space to slide your block underneath you. So again, we're just going to be creating space here for some spring cleansing. And we want to think about the digestive tract and sort of the large intestines coming up from the right side, coming below the rib cage maybe, and then coming down the left side. So that's sort of like how our digestive system kind of works, up on the right, down on the left. So if you'd like to close your eyes, I invite you to do that now. Otherwise, find a nice little spot on the floor or somewhere in the room that you can start to focus in. We're going to take one deep cleansing breath. Exhale maybe through the mouth with a sigh or a flutter of the lips, or just an sound. And then we're going to start to do this circular breathing. So imagine that you're breathing through the right side. So maybe that energy is coming up through the floor, hitting the right hip, just opening up that whole right abdomen area or abdominal area, excuse me. As you finish that inhale, it's going to come across just under the rib cage, and you're going to exhale and come down the left side. And at the end of that exhale, it's going to come across the lower belly, the pelvis, as you start to inhale again up the right. So just imagine this nice circular breathing. If you were a face of a clock, you would be starting your breath at around 6 or 7 on the inhale. You'd be passing 9 o'clock. And just as you were ending your inhale, you'd be just passing midnight or noon. And then you want to exhale coming down that left side. So hitting 3 o'clock and going back to 6 and just finishing up that exhale at around 7 o'clock. And just imagine coming around. Maybe laying the hands on the legs, allowing space to also happen in the shoulder area, and drawing those shoulder blades back, imagining space between the right hip and the right shoulder. And even though we're exhaling on the left side down, we still want to create that space between the left shoulder and the left hip. And maybe at those in-between breaths, between the exhale and the inhale, imagining the hips just opening up a little bit wider. The chin draws back, the crown comes up towards the sky, as the back is in a nice neutral position to support this nice cleansing circular breath. And just allow the belly to stay fluid. You don't really need to engage too much the abdominal muscles right now, just letting that nice air and energy circulate. Maybe just feeling the lower rib cage expand as that inhale passes by that area. And again, maybe just letting the pelvis expand a little as the exhale passes that area. On the next exhale, we're going to take both hands. We're going to just press it to the upper right part of our belly. So that's going to be right under the right rib cage. And we're going to start our breaths again by inhaling and coming over. So a nice little press of the hands over towards the left side. And on the exhale, bringing those hands down the front left belly, finishing your exhale off, coming across the pelvis. Just start to massage in circular motions here at your own pace. Really just feeling the space, sponginess, the fluidity happening, giving yourself just a little bit of love, a little bit of self-care. Noticing any little gurgles, any little sounds that may be happening, any sensations. And then maybe on your next inhale, start to get the fingertips involved and maybe get little palpitations there, just little palpitating of the fingers as they kind of crawl around down the left side, across the pelvis, lower belly. Light little pressure there. Again, just stimulating some digestion, getting it all moving, getting it prepared for our twists tonight. Take any little wiggles that you need as we start to allow the hands to come back to the knees. We're just gonna roll the shoulders back for a moment. Maybe just move the head from left to right. And when you're ready, if your eyes aren't open already, we're going to come off the block if you are on the block, or off of Vrajasana, off of your knees. We're going to come into a side bend. So we're going to take the right foot, we're going to put it on the inside of the left thigh. The left foot is going to go out towards the edge of your mat, the corner of your mat. Toes are going to be active, pointing up at the sky. And you can take your hand either down your leg for this side bend, or you can take it on the inner leg for the side bend. We're going to inhale with the right hand up, drawing that spine, drawing the crown up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we're going to slowly lower. You can go nice and easy for your first side bend here. Don't need to over exaggerate. We're just opening up. So we're going to keep that sits bone on the right, planted on the mat. We're going to just open up the body right through the armpit, elbow, fingertips. Maybe the gaze goes up towards the ceiling. A couple of breaths here. On the next inhale, we're going to rise up. That right hand is going to plant just to the right of our hip, maybe a little bit behind. We're going to press in and come up to our stargazer. So that left foot is going to flatten as the left arm comes up and over the left ear. Again, maybe we're looking up towards the sky, taking a couple of breaths here. And the hips just forward a little bit. On the next exhale, we're going to release. On the inhale, that right arm is going to come back up towards the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to take a bend over. We're going to come back up on the inhale, plant the hand down and go right back into our stargazer for the exhale. Going to come back down for the inhale again, arm rises up, exhale, side bend. And we're just going to get some dancer-like movement going at your own pace. And each of the movements is to a breath. So inhale, arms rise up, exhale, side bend, inhale, rise up, exhale, stargazer, leaning back, almost like a little back bend. Coming back for the inhale. Nice reach without overextending the shoulder. Maybe going a little bit deeper on your side bend, a little bit higher on your stargazer. After your next stargazer, we're all going to meet in the middle. Taking that left foot now near the right foot, just a little small butterfly pose. Maybe holding on to the ankles, a little breath here, Baddha Konasana. And then we're going to come into the other side. So the right foot now is going to go out towards the right corner. Left foot is going to plant close to the left thigh. Setting up for our Pravrita Janu Sasana. Inhale, arm rises up. Exhale, we're going to come into that side bend. Taking a couple of breaths here, making sure that we're pretty pressed in on that left side sits bone. We're not rising up. Nice and easy for the first one. On your next inhale, arm rises up, plants behind that left hip. As we plant that right foot down, right arm comes up and over the right ear for our stargazer. Taking some nice breaths here as the hips jet forward, really feeling that stretch from the outer edge of the right foot up through the side body, armpit, elbow, right fingertips. On the next inhale, we're going to rise that left arm up. Exhale, we're going to come over for our side bend. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, stargazer. You know the drill. I'm just going to keep going through our breath. Going through our movement of opening up that left side body. And then on the stargazer, turning it to the right. Really coming up that whole right body. Inhale, sitting nice and tall. Exhale, coming up and over. Maybe the gaze is up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going at your own pace. I really just enjoy this full body stretch. And it's also nice to remind me of the breath, that each movement is a breath in and out. After your next stargazer, we're all going to meet back in the middle. Just don't forget to take that nice inhale at the center. Bringing the feet back together in Baddha Konasana. Taking a nice long stretch here, just pulling slightly at the ankles, allowing the head to draw up towards the ceiling. I'm going to take that left foot, tuck it back under, kind of near the butt cheek there on the right side. The right foot is going to cross over the left and maybe just land outside of that left knee or top of the left knee. I'm going to try to flatten that foot if possible. Maybe you can even take your hand, your right hand to your foot, just kind of tuck it in a little bit more. Now we're going to take that hand and press it into the ground behind us as we inhale, stretching up, exhale, coming into the twist. And just breathing here, holding your twist. Feel free to inhale and come out of it a little bit so you can get some length with your crown to the ceiling, to the sky. And then exhale, going back and looking over that right shoulder. Maybe using the left hand and the right knee as leverage to get just a little bit further in your twist on the exhales. Feeling the space and maybe even trying your circular breath here. Inhaling up the right side, coming over the top of the belly, exhaling down the left side, and having the end of that exhale come across the pelvis. You can even imagine your hip bones drawing away from each other here. And when you do that, that might allow the twist to just deepen a little bit more. Remember to draw the shoulders back and away from the hips, or up and away from the hips. And then we're going to inhale, arms are going to rise up, and we're going to switch legs. So the right foot now is going to tuck under the left buttocks, and then we're going to take the left foot and cross it over the right knee. Try to get a flat foot here again, drawing that left knee up towards the sky, taking a hold of it with the hand. We can inhale with the left hand, exhale, plant it behind us, and go for your twist. Again, lengthening the spine here, pressing into the fingertips of the left hand, using that nice leverage with the knee and the hand to draw yourself deeper into your twist on the exhales. Imagining your circular breath now, opening up that space between your right rib cage and your right hip. Opening up the pelvis by drawing the hips away from each other may just allow you to get a little deeper into your twist. For your Ardha Matsyendrasana. Couple more breaths here. Again, feeling free to come out of it a little bit so you can drop just a little bit taller for that one final stretch, one final twist over the left shoulder. And when you're ready, inhale, arms can come up. We're going to once again just come into our butterfly pose just to neutralize the spine, open up the hips a little bit, wiggle around. And when you're ready, we're going to come into table. You can start to cat-cow. And again, maybe using that circular breath in your cat-cow. So on the inhale, that breath comes up the right side as we go into cow. And on the exhale, it comes over and down the left side as we come up for cat. Feeling it coming across the pelvis at the end of the exhale as we stretch up for cow. And just go at your own breath pace here. Take any wiggles, any back and forth, any little shimmying that you need to do. Feel free to turn your wrists the opposite way, getting a little stretch in there so the fingertips can point towards the knees. As we imagine opening up that whole abdominal area. So the idea is to open and then to twist. And then we neutralize, we open, and then we twist. We're going to move into child's pose with open knees. So just sitting back there on your heels, coming into your balasana pose, taking a few of those circular breaths once again. Hairline at the mat, arms extended, fingertips maybe engaged, the elbows are up, so that we can really feel the length of not only the spine, but the opening of the rib cage from the hips. Seeing if we can almost drop the shoulders a little bit so we're opening up the shoulder blades. Feeling the hips drop, opening up that area as well. We're going to just start to slightly lift as we walk our hands over to the right.
Back up towards center, walking ourselves over towards the left side, opening up that right side body. Few breaths here. Nice active fingertips on the right side. Feeling that space between the right hip, right armpit. And finishing up your circular.
And then back up into table. Just going to take a couple more cat cows before we curl our toes under. And we're going to go for our down dog, very short tonight. So feel free to spread your feet a little, bend your knees, allow the torso to touch the thighs if that feels comfortable, and just walk out that little dog here. So just walking out your dog, settling in, making sure that the feet are just wide enough, almost towards each edge of the mat. We're going to press into the right hand, take the left hand, wrap it around the right ankle. So we're wrapping it around opposite ankle. Feeling the stretch here, we're going to be looking under our right armpit. Feeling that openness happening on the right, plus a little challenge, a little bit of balance. Engaging the belly, drawing it in and up. Taking nice breaths here. As we feel the little bit of pull with the hand to the leg. Imagine the armpit on the right side, hollowing out as we press into the fingers. And then inhale, coming back to center. Taking a breath here before we go for the clasp on the other side. So we're going to press into that left fingertip. Right hand is going to come towards the left ankle. Taking the left armpit into a hollowed sensation. We're going to look under it. And even just pulling a little bit with that right hand. Almost trying to pull the ankle. Keeping nice pressure into the fingertips so that we don't cause any discomfort in the left shoulder that may or may not be bearing too much weight. Hopefully not. And when you're ready, we're going to come back into center. You can walk the feet in a little bit as we bend the knees, walk the hands back to the feet. Just hanging here for a moment in our forward fold. Maybe taking a little rag doll. Feel free to bend and straighten the legs. Just opening up the backs of the thighs. Drawing that hip up towards the sky. And of course, you can always keep your hands on the floor for balance as well. On the next inhale, we're going to press up to upward salute, Urdhva Hastasana. Shoulders are going to draw down and back, maybe even get a little bit of a back bend. Before we bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra, maybe closing the eyes and setting an intention in Tadasana, mountain pose. Feeling the energy coming up from the earth, setting an intention perhaps for this moon cycle. Inhaling, absorbing courage, forgiveness, love, and peace. Maybe exhaling, releasing fear, judgment, anger, and chaos. On the next inhale, arms rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. As we exhale, we're going to bend the knees, sending the hips back, coming through chair in order to finally get to our thighs where we come into our forward fold. We're going to walk the hands out and maybe just come into our downward dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Maybe just walk the feet out a little bit. Maybe those heels are hitting your mat now. Hips are rising high. Head is dropping. We're going to take that right toe up towards the sky. Maybe come up on the balls of the left toe, pointing the right toe. We're going to exhale, taking that right knee to left elbow. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, taking that right knee to left elbow or a left wrist if you can't get up that high. And next time we're up at the sky with our right toe, we're going to bend that knee and we're just step it through between the hands at the front of the mat, lowering that left knee, planting the top of the foot down, grounding into those toes. Take an inhale, reach forward and come up into our Anjaneyasana. Maybe even take a little back bend here, little crescent. Exhale, hands are going to come around that foot. We're going to curl the left toe under as we step up. For an inhale, halfway lift, shining the heart, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, pressing up, reaching through Urdhva Hastasana. We're going to take our exhale right into chair. We're going to come till we can't go any further on our legs to forward fold, Uttanasana, halfway lift, shining the heart, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands are going to plant. We're going to step that left foot back, coming back on our knee for Anjaneyasana. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, plant it on both sides. Plant the hands on the sides of the foot. Rise up on the left toe. Step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale for plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana. Not forgetting to inhale on the back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, we're going to rise up on the right toes this time, pointing the left toes up towards the sky. Exhale, left knee to right arm, wrist, elbow. Inhale, go back up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to right arm, wrist, elbow. Inhale up. Exhale one more time to the arm. This next inhale, we're going to step it forward, planting the right knee down, top of the right foot, reaching in front, up and over for Anjaneyasana, the lunge. Exhale, we're going to plant the hands down, coming up on the ball of the right toe, stepping it up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise it up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, coming down through chair. Nice and slow, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant down. We're gonna this time step the right foot back, come back on the right knee, flatten the right foot, rise it up, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, hands plant down. Exhale, toe curls under, step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana, your choice. We're gonna all meet in downward facing dog. This time the right foot's gonna come up towards the sky. Let's keep that left heel down as we bend the right knee and open up the hip. You just wanna flex and point right side line. Maybe keep the head dangling. Keeping that even amount of pressure on both the right and left side. We want to be even here. You don't want to be pressing too hard on the left or right hand. Straightening out the hips, we're going to point that right toe to the back of the room. As we exhale, step it up, Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, we're going to open up towards the left. So we're in Anjaneyasana. Nice twist here, a couple of breaths. Maybe look over towards the left hand. Inhale, rise it up center. Maybe take a little back bend before we exhale and gaze over towards the right. And maybe look at the right hand. Inhale, we're gonna rise it up. Exhale, plant the hands, curl the toe, step it up. Inhale, halfway lift, shining that heart, sending out lots of love and peace. Exhale, forward fold, releasing. Inhale, rise it up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, we're gonna come through that chair till we can't go any further, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, left foot steps back, coming back into Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands plant, toes curl, step it back, downward dog. Inhale for plank. Exhale for chaturanga dandasana, or knees, chest, chin. Don't forget your inhale for your back bend, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. This time we're going to do the other side. Left foot goes up towards the sky, planting that right heel down. We're going to open it up by bending the left knee, maybe flexing again and pointing those toes. Making sure we're evenly distributed, right and left hand. And then we're going to straighten it out and step that left foot up between the hands, planting the right knee down and arriving at Anjaneyasana. This time on the exhale, we're going to open the arms to the right side, taking the gaze towards the right hand. Inhale, coming up towards center, maybe a little back bend before we exhale for the twist, maybe taking the gaze over at the left hand. Inhale, we're going to rise up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it up. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhvastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to take that right foot now, step it back. Plant the top of the foot. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, nice little back bend here. Exhale, plant the hands, curl the toes, step it back, downward dog. Inhale for plank. Exhale for our chaturanga dandasana, or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Wiggling anything out. Shake the head, no. Nod the head, yes. Taking that right up to the sky. We're going to step it forward. This time coming up into high lunge. So the arms are going to still come forward, up and over like a crescent. Nice couple of breaths here. Maybe allow the hips to sink a little, but keeping that left knee active. Keeping high on the left toes. Heel could be right above that plane. Bending into that right knee. Slowly lowering both hands to the ground. We're going to let the left one plant onto the mat as the right one peels up towards the sky. A little twisted lunge here. Really feel the reach of the back left heel, drawing towards the back of the mat, letting that left knee kind of pop up. And when you're ready, we're going to take the right hand down to the mat, rise up for the inhale, both hands up, taking the hands into prayer, Anjali Mudra. We're going to hook that left elbow around the outer right knee, pressing into the hands. Maybe the fingertips splay, pointing towards the right side. Not losing that height in the left leg, the ball of the foot, really engaged. A couple of breaths here, maybe taking the gaze up towards the right, up towards the ceiling. Nice twist. Making sure not to collapse into that left shoulder or the left side body. So you really want to press your hands together. That's going to help you lift. Drawing the belly in. And on the next inhale, you plant those hands down, and we're going to walk our hands towards the long side of the mat for a little forward fold. And just take a moment, one breath here. Allow the head to drop and release. Walking the hands back around towards the back of the mat. Left toes are going to point towards the back of the mat. Come up on the right toes. Bending into that left knee, reaching forward for our lunge here. Feeling nice buoyancy in the right leg, right toes. The next exhale, hands plant down on the mat. Right hand's going to stay where it is. Left is going to peel up towards the sky for our twist. Really allowing that circular breath, perhaps, to aid in the opening up of the belly. And when you're ready, that hand's going to come down. We're going to rise up one more time into our high lunge as we come together with hands in prayer, taking the right elbow this time, taking it to the left outer knee, pressing in for your twist. Maybe taking that gaze up towards the ceiling over your left shoulder, left elbow pointing up there as well. Keeping that back leg and toe engaged. Pressing in, not allowing yourself to collapse on the right side. Lots of things to think about. Couple of more breaths. Hands are going to come to the mat, and we're going to walk ourselves back into that forward fold. And then we're going to walk ourselves back towards the right side of the mat or the front of the mat. Toe is going to point towards the front. We're just going to kick back that heel. Bend the front knee, bend the right knee. We're going to windmill up, warrior two. So just kind of maybe take the right hand to the belly, the left hand to the back. Really center your spine. Feel that flexibility, liquidity, nice and buoyant in the belly. Arms rise up once again for warrior two, bending into that right knee, drawing towards the right. As we let the left hand come down, right hand comes up, we can straighten that front leg for a peaceful warrior. And on the exhale, we're going to go and grab that block. Going to grab the block and get into our half moon pose. So we want that block to be up towards the right corner of the mat, just past it. We want to really get some nice strength going in the standing leg, lifting that left leg. Foot is flexed, toe is pointed towards the left. You can even move it a little bit in front of you so you can see your toes if you were to look down. If that's working for you, maybe you take the hand to the sky, gaze follows, Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose. Really work on lifting that left leg, engaging the right, nice stability. A nice foundation with the arm on the block. If not, you can be with fingertips or holding onto a wall or piece of furniture. And when you're ready, we're going to step back into warrior two, taking that block with us. Turning the toes towards the wide side of the mat, inhaling, nice stretch, 5-pointed star. Switching hands for the block. Coming into warrior two on this side, left toes are going to point towards the back of the mat. We're going to pivot that right heel, bending into the left knee goes towards the left. Warrior two on this side. Let's take it to peaceful with a straight leg. Maybe that arm comes back. The weight of the brick is a nice counterbalance. As we exhale, we're going to bend into that left knee, coming up for our half moon on this side. So again, getting that base leg in place before we really stretch that right foot out. Toes pointed towards the left side of the room. Maybe the arm comes up, the gaze joins it. Getting that right foot just a little bit in front so you can see your toes. It's just a nice way to know you're in a good alignment. And again, if you don't have a block, a piece of furniture would be fine. 2 more breaths. Before we come down, back into our warrior two. 5-pointed star. Bring it down to a forward fold. Wide leg, forward fold. Let it all hang out. Nice work here. allowing the crown to drop towards the earth. Ooh. When you're ready, we're going to just come up on our fingertips and maybe just move the feet a little bit closer together. We want to be able to plant that right hand on the ground and take the left hand and wrap it around that right ankle, sort of like what we did in downward facing dog. We're going to take the right hand now, once we've pulled sufficiently on the left hand, right foot to get some leverage. Right arm peels up for the twist. Fingers are engaged in the right hand. Nice straight line coming up from the shoulder to the fingertips. And again, maybe that gaze is up there as well. Couple of breaths, drawing the crown forward, tailbone back. Feeling that space between the right rib cage and the right hip. Right shoulder, bottom right rib cage, drawing away from each other. And then we're going to come down. Both hands plant in front of the face. Take a nice little neutral pose here, maybe coming up on fingertips for a little halfway lift. Gaze can be slightly in front of you. Before we take that right hand now, reach it back for the left ankle. Once we're secure there in our pose and we have the right leverage, take that left hand now, peel it up towards the sky. On the exhale, drawing the belly in. That might give you a little bit deeper twist. Feeling the length between the hip bone and, the left hip bone and the left ankle. Allowing the shoulders to draw away from each other, maybe. Getting a little bit more height on the twist. Try not to grip your toes. Don't grip your face. Check in, see what's going on with the mouth, teeth, jaw. A little circular breath here before we bring it down to center. Once again, coming up on the fingertips, just neutralizing that spine for a moment. Ooh. We're going to walk our feet in just enough so that we can get into our yogi squat. So whatever that is for you. If you want to bring your feet a little bit close together, I like to just try and make sure that my feet are flat. So I'm just as balancing on the outer edges of my feet as I am on the inner. Using my hands pressed together as leverage against each of my knees with my elbows. Crown drawing up, tailbone drawing down. A couple of breaths here in Malasana pose. Seeing if you can wiggle in a little bit, feeling that opening that you created, not allowing it to collapse, but almost sinking it in, using your hip crease as a foundation to allow your whole torso, the whole cylinder to grow. Drawing shoulders down and back. If it's in your practice to take crow, please do so. Otherwise, we're going to maybe just plant our hands down and go for a little twist in Malasana. So you can plant your left hand down, press into the left inner knee with the left elbow as the right arm rises up. And really sinking into that left hip crease. Remember, building up from that foundation. Allowing the torso to open, chest to open, head to fall back. Checking in with the eyes, the inner ears. And then switching sides. Now pressing that right elbow into the right inner knee. Opening up that left hip crease a little bit, giving myself a little bit more height, a little bit more room. to grow my cylinder. Imagining my shoulders drawing away from each other. And coming down. And if you're in crow, you can come down now as well, or play any kind of versions out from your Pavrita Malasana. And maybe just walking back and forth on each of the feet, coming up on the toes. And when you're ready, come to the knees, and we are going to lie on our backs. Coming into a reclined position with knees up. Just going to take a little bridge pose for our back bend tonight. And again, if wheel is in your practice, feel free to do so. We'll just catch our breath here and make sure that we're calming the body down now. We don't want to give too much stress. As we press into the feet, drawing the knees towards each other and towards the back of the mat. Hips are going to start to rise. Now you can press in with the upper arms and engage those hands facing each other. As the hips draw up a little bit higher, you might even want to clasp your hands underneath. Rock and roll your shoulders. So you get a nice little chest opener there. The key here is to allow your chin to drop as close to your chest as possible as you're pressing up. So really feeling that opening happening in the chest and shoulders. Check in with the face. How's everything feeling? Allowing the hips to almost have a little sloshiness to them. We don't want to overextend them. We're working so hard to open this area. We don't want to cause any stress right now in the lower abdomen. Nice engagement, maybe a little squeeze of the glutes. A couple of more breaths here. And if you are in wheel, you might want to come down for a moment. We're going to go back up. If you choose to stay there, that's fine too. Just wiggle out the hips, windshield wiper the knees just a little bit. Even take a nice inhale, stretching out the arms above the head. Again, opening up that whole area that we just twisted and worked out. When you're ready, coming back into your bridge or wheel. And just kind of feeling everything start to drain down towards the back of your head. If you're in wheel, feeling the sensation of maybe the lymphatic system kind of detoxifying. Some of us are uncomfortable looking at the world upside down or having blood rush into our head, but it is a wonderful practice, especially after twists. I also recommend legs up the wall as a nice way to just drain everything out. 2 more breaths here in bridge or wheel. And on the next exhale, slowly lower it down. Bringing the knees into the chest, little squeeze, little hug, little rock and roll, some circles. Don't forget to go the other way if you're doing circles. And then I'm just going to rock and roll side to side a little bit. And next time you're towards the left, we're going to let those left knees drop over. We don't really need to engage the feet right now, drawing the toes up towards the shins. Again, we're trying to calm the body. But if you want to go for a little extra twist, you can take the right leg over the left knee and then go into your twist that way. Now, I learned a great little trick. The backbone right now is almost on a diagonal to the mat. So if you just move that left shoulder just about an inch towards the left, you're going to straighten that spine. You're going to, in essence, almost deepen the twist. You may even get to move your legs out a little bit further towards the left. And then you can easily take that right hand and bring it out towards the right in a T. Maybe the gaze follows the right hand. And maybe the left hand is just used as leverage down the right thigh. I like to give my hip crease a little massage when I'm here. And just bringing everything down the leg. A little massage above my knee. I'm just settling for a couple of breaths here, letting the belly be nice and soft. Slowly start to come out of your twist, rising knees up towards the sky again, and then taking them over towards the right. Maybe going for that cross leg option. And once you're there, just shimmy that right shoulder a little bit towards the right. That's going to straighten out the backbone, allowing you to get nice leverage with your right hand over your left knee, and taking that left arm out towards a T, and maybe the gaze follows the left hand. On the exhale, just feeling that twist deepen without much effort. Checking in on the shoulders, checking in on the jaw. Maybe wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Taking that right hand, giving yourself a little massage in that left hip crease. Coming down the left thigh to the knee. Couple more breaths here. Next inhale, bringing those legs to center. Again, a couple of little rock and rolls, just massaging your own lower back. And then when you're ready, you're gonna grab that rolled up blankie. I'm gonna lay it right under the belly. So we're gonna lay on our bellies. And we're gonna set it up, literally crossing right through the center of the belly. So in line almost with the belly button. And try it up here on your elbows first. See if you're okay with that sensation. Then see what you want to do with your feet. So, I always like a good pigeon toe with the heels out. And then you can slowly start to lower yourself, maybe cushioning your forehead with your hands, the backs of your palms. And see if you can just take some nice deep breaths here. Massaging your belly, allowing just the rise and fall of your body be just enough pressure to allow those muscles to just loosen a little bit more. And if this becomes too sensational, you can remove the blanket. Otherwise, we're going to take about 6 more breaths here. Starting to slow down. Maybe just falling into a natural breathing pattern. Loosening up the glutes. Loosening the shoulders. Releasing any tension from the face, chest, hips. Slowly pressing up on the forearms. We are going to turn to the right. So the right side body, right at that same space in alignment with your belly button. You're going to have that roll on your side body. And then you can just stack your legs one on top of the other. You can bring up one of your knees. That's just going to bring you a little bit further forward. I kind of like the stack because it gets me right on my side waist. And then once again, you're going to just start to lower. You can let your hands come behind your head as a nice little cushion. And just feel the sensation of a couple of deep breaths here, just massaging that right abdominal area in between the rib cage and the hip. Feel free to adjust your roll if you need to get a little higher, a little lower. Maybe the left palm just fits right over the left hip. Just a natural breathing pattern now for about 4 or 5 more breaths. When you're ready, we're going to take that left palm, press it into the mat as we slowly rise. And we flip sides. So coming onto the left side body now, making sure your blanket is nice and fluffy as it lies just between your lower rib cage and your left hip, supporting your head with your arm, stacking your legs, and just allowing that right palm to come over the right hip. A couple of deep breaths to start, just to feel that little massage sensation. And again, if that's too sensational for you, it's fine to just lay on your side. You can even do fetal position without the blanket. Just feel everything on that left side melting into the mat. Natural breathing pattern by now. Just a couple more breaths. Slowly take the right palm, pressing it into the mat. Just rising a little bit on your left elbow. So you can take the blanket out now, coming into Shavasana, maybe leaving it as a roll or half roll and draping it right over your belly, allowing the feet to splay out to the outer edges of the mat. Getting your blanket in place before you allow your arms to relax by your sides. Palms up or palms down. A quick little body scan, starting at the toes, working your way up your feet, ankles, calves. And just falling into a natural breathing pattern as you enjoy your Shavasana, working your way up body for your scan. Most importantly, feeling warmth and openness in the belly, feeling a little bit cleansed with your breath. Maybe that allows the heart to just open a little bit more, allowing us to express ourselves a little bit better, maybe even listen a little deeper so that we can gain knowledge, tap into our intuition, and finally open up our crown chakra, feeling the connectivity with the universe. Tonight, I'm going to leave you here in your Shavasana. So take as long as you wish. Again, remember to drink lots of liquids. And I will see you next week. Till then, take care.
Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.